Hey guys, what's going on? Caden Cleveland here with the Oklahoma Senate, and you're joining us for another episode of Budget Breakdown. Of course, just like every week, we're joined with our Appropriations Chair, Senator Roger Thompson. Senator, thanks for having us again. Just another week here in your office talking budget. So, what do you have for us this week?
Well, first of all, thanks for dropping by.
Absolutely.
I enjoy the conversation every week. We're at a unique point in the budget process.
Right.
And what we've had over the last few weeks is that there have been a number of House bills that relate to the budget and a number of Senate bills that relate to the budget.
Okay.
And so right now, we have now traded those bills.
So we're at the halfway mark, is
Yes.
what you meant there. So
Right.
that's the point where the Senate receives all the House bills and the House receives all the Senate bills to
Right.
kind of, I guess, further develop and kind of the process of moving through those bills.
Oh,
Is that
exactly.
correct? Okay, gotcha.
And so like on the Senate side, we had over 1,000 bills filed.
Right.
We end up sending maybe 300 to the House.
Okay.
We've received maybe 300 from the House over,
Right.
so they've been vetted by the House. And we've vetted ours on the Senate side.
Right.
And this morning we had our first appropriations meeting over here
Okay.
of House bills.
Okay.
Now, we want to make sure that it's still fiscally sound. And so we take titles off of the bills whenever they come in.
Okay.
If they've got a title on. Now, let's talk about that just for a few moments.
Okay.
If a bill to become law needs a title on it and an enacting clause,
Okay.
and as long as the title is off on that bill, it will never become law.
Okay.
The governor will never see that bill to sign into law or anything else.
Okay.
And so a lot of folks at home, they get very nervous because here's a bill that's coming through,
Right.
and this all they know are the words that's in it. I
Absolutely.
understand that.
Right.
So I try to explain to them, if title is off, it is a work in progress.
Right.
This is not the final product.
Right.
We're still taking a look at it, but it's got to move through the certain stages because we're on a timeline.
Okay.
And so as the House will send us bills over here,
Mhm.
and vice versa, we send to them, it has a fiscal impact.
Right.
The system needs to work. The House needs to look at it. We need to look
Right.
at it. And so, for instance, the House has sent us over $1 billion in expenditures.
Wow.
We
That's a lot.
we don't have that kind of money.
Right.
And so we'll take titles off of it, and then we'll be working with the House, and we'll be working with the governor's
Right.
office. Okay, what do we actually can afford?
Gotcha.
And to move forward, because we have a balanced budget amendment in the Constitution.
That's right.
We can't borrow money to pay our debts.
Mhm.
We have to be able to simply just do our debts
That's
that are in our portion side. And so right now, in the appropriations meeting this morning, by unanimous consent, I took the title off of the bills that have a fiscal impact upon us.
Okay, so that makes a lot more sense there, because I think people inside the Capitol building start to realize what this means, title on, title off. But when you're outside the Capitol building and you hear, hey, the title's on, the title's off, you have no idea what that
That's
means.
exactly right.
So essentially what that means is if the title's on it, that
Right.
means that it is the version that's moving forward.
Right.
If the title's off of it, it can't be signed by the governor, can't become law.
That's
but
right.
that pretty much means that it's still a work in progress. There's
Right.
still changes that are probably going to be made to it.
That's right.
Okay, gotcha.
That's exactly right. And on the fiscal end of it, we don't want to send anything titled through, because every time something goes through with a title on of it, that's
Right.
dollars out of the general revenue fund.
Oh, okay,
We
gotcha.
do not want to make that decision until the end, when we know exactly what kind of dollars we're going to have.
How much it's actually
in the
going to cost.
general revenue
Oh,
fund.
gotcha.
So we'll keep title off.
Okay,
And as appropriations chair, I take the title off.
gotcha.
And so as a member gets ready to run that on the floor,
Mhm.
they will run an amendment to put the title back on. They must come to me and have my signature to be able to put that title back on, because I'm the one responsible
That's
for
right.
the dollars.
Gotcha.
And so if they do that and has like a small fiscal impact, or we're budgeted for it and the
Right.
House has agreed.
Right.
And so let's just take, for instance, the plan of Pay for Success. We know the governor likes that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a $1.5 million. And the House likes it,
Okay.
$1.5 million. The Senate likes it, $1.5 million. So I can anticipate in this next year's budget, we're going to see Pay for Success at $1.5 million.
Okay.
And so I ran that bill this morning
Right.
with title on. And I'll go to the floor with title on. And whenever we pass it off the floor,
Mhm.
that is a debit now out of our general revenue fund of $1.5 million.
Gotcha. And the reason that you ran that with the title on is because essentially the Senate, the House, and the governor, everybody's kind of on the same page.
Exactly.
Is that correct? Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. So if the title's off of them, that means that they're still being examined, still being looked
Right.
at. So that's just good information to have, because when you look at a bill and you see titles off or anything like
Right.
that, you got to know where it's at in the
Right.
process.
Right.
So
It's
yeah,
a super cool process.
absolutely.
And because it's the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
And so the House says, we want to take a look at it and make sure it's wise.
Yeah.
The Senate says, let's take a look at it and make sure it's wise. The governor takes a look at it and make sure it's wise. we came out with a good budget. It's supposed to be for the people of Oklahoma.
We got a pretty cool government of
Yeah,
checks
we
and
do.
balances.
Oh, we do.
Awesome. Thank you
Okay.
for just walking us through that, explaining that to
Yes,
us.
sir.
So, guys, if you see a bill, if you hear about a bill, maybe that causes some red flags to go up in your mind, first, before you really get all excited about the bill,
Right.
make sure you take a look about where it's at in the process, because it might be that the title's off and
Right.
that it's still kind of a work in progress. There's still changes that are going to
Exactly.
be made to it. So that's just kind of good information to have and know as we move forward in the budgeting process.
Exactly.
Awesome. Senator, thank you again for having
Thanks
us
for dropping
this week.
by.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back next week with another budget breakdown episode. If you have questions, feel free to comment down below, and we'll be sure to answer any questions you got.
Absolutely.
Senator, anything else?
No, that's it.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks.
you so much. Guys, thanks, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
You said the same thing I told ya. My eyes are clear, there's no secret. I wanna know, was it serious? I need a kid, my best friend. Isn't easy to show.